Hey, welcome to today's Inspirational Vitamin. It is Good Friday, and I just wanted to share with you a few things concerning Good Friday. I know it's Passion Week, or we're celebrating Passion Week and celebrating the resurrection of Jesus. And Good Friday is basically acknowledging and celebrating just the entire process of the death of Jesus and from the moment he was arrested and moving on. But he was actually arrested the night before. And on Good Friday, I just want to go through the timeline. And you may be watching this, later on in the day on Friday or whatnot. But I want to encourage you to reflect on just what the day was like and take a moment during these hours that I'm going to mention to recognize and just contemplate what this day was like for Jesus. And so, yeah, so it would have been around 6 o'clock in the morning or so, what scholars believe. 6 o'clock in the morning is when he stood before Pilate. He was sent to Herod, and where that whole thing was happening, where he's being passed off from leader to leader. And at 7 o'clock, he returned to Pilate, and ultimately that's when Pilate offered Barabbas versus Jesus, and they chose Jesus. It was probably around 8 o'clock that he was actually led to Golgotha and led to Calvary, and he was actually crucified at what they refer to as the third hour, which would have been around 9 o'clock. And that's where that whole process of him being on the cross, the soldiers gambling for his clothing and different things like that would have happened. 10 o'clock, he was on the cross, if I'm not mistaken, for a few hours. So he was on there 9 o'clock, he was on there 10 o'clock, mocked and things of that nature, with the criminals and just their interaction. And ultimately, around the 6th hour, which would have been around noon, is when I say an eclipse, but darkness covered the land. And then when Jesus cried out, Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani, that would have been around 1 o'clock in the afternoon for us. And it is finished. Into your hands I commit my spirit would have taken place somewhere in the vicinity of about 2 o'clock that afternoon. And then finally at 3 o'clock would have been when there was an earthquake. That's when the temple veil was torn in two. And I just want to read that. And I'm asking that at 3 o'clock, we just really, really recognize this moment. Let me read it to you. Matthew 27, verse 51. I'm starting 50. And when Jesus had cried out again in a loud voice, he gave up his spirit. At that moment, the curtain of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom. The earth shook, the rocks split, and the tombs broke open. The bodies of many holy people who had died were raised to life. They came out of the tombs after Jesus' resurrection and went into the holy city and appeared to many people. When the centurion and those with him who were guarding Jesus saw the earthquake and all that had happened, they were terrified and exclaimed, "Surely he was the Son of God." So I want to encourage you at 3 o'clock today to take a moment and think about this moment. How Jesus died, how the curtain in the temple was torn in two from top to bottom. And there was then no more separation between God and man, in the sense of Jesus was the high priest that allowed us to go to the most holy of holies at that point. And everything changed. at that point. That was a symbol that now we can go to the most holy of holies. And I want to encourage us to do just that, to go to the most holy of holies and spend time in prayer at 3 o'clock today. And just in thanks to God that there's no more curtain. There's no more curtain in the temple. And to know that we now can approach him with confidence and with faith because of Jesus and because of the sacrifice that he made. So, and ultimately, everybody around, that centurion and the people with him, when they saw how Jesus died, they said, surely he is the Son of God. So I hope that encourages you and inspires you that God's love for us brought that. God's love for us brought that. And let us return that love with our lives. Have a great weekend. Happy Resurrection Sunday.